Vai Otso itzav besufa dabro davar v'layakom ki Immanuel v'yatzik v'avaniyo v'yatzik v'avaniyo ani asisi v'ani esav ani espo v'yamalei Ach tzadikim yoidu shmecha Yeshu yesharim esparnecha Ki Elokim yashiyatzi Tefillah went straight to Shamayim, that's it. We thought Mashiach, the war is going to be over by Purim Mashiach now. We have to wait till Pesach, Chas Shomer. In Chodesh Adar Sheni, even before Chodesh Nisan, Mashiach is going to come. Okay, so in this week's parsha we have the prohibition against eating blood. B'chol dam lo sochlu b'chol moshvotechem. The Torah has to tell us, Chen, lo tochlu dam lo stam b'chol moshvotechem. Torah, in all your where do you think why does the Torah need to tell you in all your dwelling places don't eat blood? Don't eat blood. I know everywhere. What's in all your dwelling places don't eat blood? So the Gemara asks this question. Gemara Kedushin Daf Lamed Zayin Omid Beis. Why is it necessary for the Torah to tell us the prohibition against chelev b'chol dam? Chelev is certain forbidden fats. And dam b'chol moshvotechem in any of your dwelling places. Most of the prohibitions are everywhere. Why would we think otherwise that you could eat blood somewhere? The Gemara answers because the Torah is telling us this here together with the service in the Beis Hamikdash. We're talking about all the sacrifices in the Holy Temple. So I would have understood maybe because it's telling it to me here not to eat certain blood and fats. So it's similar to the other laws, the sacrifices had to have an elevated level of purity, and that was in the Beit. But now when there's no Beit HaMikdash, maybe I would think I could eat blood and fats now because there's no Beit HaMikdash. The prohibitions against eating chelev and blood don't apply. They applied only with the karbanot and the Beis HaMikdash. Now we're not bringing sacrifices, we're not bringing karbanot. Maybe we could eat blood and maybe we could eat forbidden fats. So the Torah says, B'chol moshvotechem, even here in the United States of America in the 21st century, there's no karbanot, you don't have sacrifice, you're still not allowed to eat blood and fats. That's what the Gemara says there in Kedushin Daf Lamed Zayin Omid Beis. We're never permitted to eat blood or chelev, even during the times when the Beis HaMikdash is not standing. Another explanation given by the Yitzpon LaYisharim Toshia seems to be a sefer called Yitzpon LaYisharim Toshia. That's the name of the sefer. I never heard of it before. If anyone knows anything about it, please let me know. Sefer Yitzpon LaYisharim Toshia explains based on what the Ramban says. The Ramban says in his introduction to Sefer Vayikra, in putting the prohibition against forbidden fats and blood together with the karbanot, together with the sacrifices, it could have said it where treifus is. These could have said not to eat blood and not to eat chelev together with all the kosher laws. But it puts it here together with the karbanot. Why? Because the Torah is giving us the reason. Why can't you eat the forbidden fats and why can't you eat the blood? Because it's an essential part of the karban. When you brought a sacrifice to Hashem, you took the blood, was part of the sacrifice, you had to sprinkle it. You had to take the blood and sprinkle it. It was part of the avodah, part of the service. Certain fats had to be burned on the mizbeach. This was part of the sacrifice. So it's appropriate that we're talking, because these belong to Hashem. The blood and the forbidden fats, they belong to Hashem. They were part of the karbanos, so it's not right that you should consume this. This belongs to Hashem. The dam was part of the karbanot. You had to sprinkle it, and the forbidden fats was sacrificed on the mizbeach. So with this in mind, now we can understand that's why they're forbidden to be eaten. So therefore I would think now we can understand the Gemara, because it's part of the whole reason we can't eat the blood and the fats is because it's Hashem's, is part of the sacrifice. Now that there's no Beis Hamikdash and it's not part of the sacrifice, we don't have a Beis Hamikdash, we're not sprinkling blood to Hashem and we're not burning forbidden fats on the altar. So maybe now I can eat it. So the Torah has to tell you, no, b'chol moshvotechem. Even now when there's no sacrifices and you're not giving it to Hashem, you're still not allowed to partake of the blood and the forbidden fats. Rashi adds an explanation why the blood was chosen as part of the animal. That why really do we have to sprinkle blood? Lama lokim tziva lashpritz dam? Because you could live, a person could live, it's supposed to forgive you. The whole purpose of the karma, you're supposed to think that really it should be happening to you. Bimkomcha, behema meta bimkomcha, is dying instead of you. And you could live without food, without water. You could live for a couple of days without food and water, without air for a couple of minutes. But without blood, blidam, without blood in your body, you can't live at all. Adam hu nefesh. You need that blood. So blood is giving you, that the blood is mamash your chayut, that gives you your sustenance. That was used to get teshuvah from Hashem. Another idea about blood, the Torah in Devarim, the Torah says, Rak chazak leviltiach kol adam. It says, be very strong not to eat blood. Everyone asks, why do you have to be very strong to eat blood? You know anyone that wants to eat blood? It's disgusting. A person naturally does want to eat, but what does the Torah need to tell you? Why does the Torah tell you, be strong, don't eat blood? You don't need to be strong not to eat blood. Right? What are you saying, Bob? You don't agree? We're trying to understand. The Torah says, Rak chazak, be strong not to eat blood.
A lot of people eat blood.
The Mishnah and the Makkas says that we're going to get reward for not eating blood. It's one of the 613 commandments. One of the 365 negative commandments is not to eat blood. So the Mishnah says, if you're going to get reward for doing a mitzvah that repulses you anyway, how much more reward are you going to get for something that doesn't repulse you? Like immorality and theft, right? People like stealing, people like immorality. If you get reward for something that repulses you, not to eat blood, you're going to get reward. How much more so you're going to get reward for something that doesn't repulse you? So if a person doesn't desire to drink blood, why does the Torah need to remind us to summon extra strength? So he says something interesting here. Look around the shul or the study hall. Are the biggest Torah scholars the smartest people? Are we all the ones coming to shul? Are we the holy tzaddikim? Are the ones coming to shul, are the ones that are studying the most Torah? Are they the smartest of people? No, not always. The smartest of people might not be in the study hall for whatever reason. The people who do the most kindness, were they born with the greatest hearts, naturally driven? It says the opposite. Sometimes people, if you had to work hard, you worked against your nature to develop a will to study, a will to go to shul, a will to do kindness, then you educated yourself to go beyond what's normal to you. People that it comes naturally to, they did it, they never had to work for it. It came naturally to them to learn. So whenever a challenge comes, they're not used to getting challenged. A person who naturally didn't want to do it, he had to work on himself, he trained himself to overcome challenges, he can end up being the one that does it more than someone else. So that's what the Torah is telling us here. Even though it's natural to you to be repulsed from blood, treat everything like it's not natural, like everything's a challenge. And that's the way to go. That's the way, whenever a challenge comes your way, you'll be able to handle it. Even if something, because if everything comes easy to you always, you won't get used to being challenged. If everything you treat as a challenge, then even when challenges come your way, you will be there and be able to overcome it. So the Torah is telling us, Rak chazak, even though it's natural, still make sure that you're ready to get challenged. Right. This was all in memory of Rabbi David. What's your father, your mother? I forget your. What's your? Sarah Taiba Bas Reb Avram should have an aliyah, and the Neshama should have an aliyah. Amen. Yud Tes Adar.